All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. Man, you guys, I am excited about today's show. I've been waiting for this show for a couple of weeks to get my boy J.R. Ridge back in here and talk about this title match. We've been following J.R. for the last year with his career, and so I was really excited about seeing this title fight that he had going on. The fight was I think like 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there, maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. It was a crazy night. If anybody got to see some of those fights, there was incredible, some incredible matches. But watching JR, I was really looking forward to seeing JR fight John Dodson. So I'm gonna bring JR in. We're going to talk about how that fight went and some of the lessons that was learned from it and where we go from here. So, what's up, my brother?
How you doing, my man? Sorry, we got the times all jacked up. I apologize.
Oh no, we're good. We're good. Like I said, I've been really excited about this interview. Because we've been following you for a year. We've been talking for a year. And I know that you've been really looking forward to this fight and preparing for this fight with John Dodson. I remember when we were just talking about you were trying to get him to even fight. After you did the last fight, you tried to set this up. And, and so we had you on the Awesome Pro show. Talking about the fight that had actually been set up, and so first of all, that fight was crazy. And the other thing is the text that I sent you right after the fight. I didn't really know much about John Dodson, but like when he got on. And every time he would talk, he just annoyed me. I know that like the big thing now for wrestling and boxing and everyone wants to be the villain. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone wants to be that villain. And that's the thing that John wanted to do, So he came in there.
Huh? Yeah. The thing with John Dodson, man, like he seems like a jerk and I don't know if we can cuss on your show, but like he seems like an asshole, right? He seems like an asshole when the cameras are on. Like John's a legend. He's been in the game for such a long time. He's accomplished many things for the weight, for the smaller weight classes. He's a legend. But the fact, like, what crazy is, Cross, is that when the cameras are off, John was super cool with me. Like John wanted to like talk with me. He wanted to like get to know me. Like his wife even came and picked up my food and like threw it in the trash. Like during the official weigh-ins that nobody saw. Right. But he's a super nice guy. But when the cameras are on, dude, he's a jerk. Like, but the thing is, like, whenever you saw him be a jerk on camera, like he seemed to be like. It seemed a bit cringy, yeah? Did you feel a little cringy?
Yeah, that's like the first thing he got on. He's like, I don't even know why we're gonna fight. They just need to give me the title. I'm gonna knock him out in 6 seconds. I'm like, dude,
relax. Like you saw the press conference, yeah? Right. Whenever he was talking to literally 5 minutes before the cameras went live, we were in the back, and he was just trying to like chat with me, right? And then when the cameras went live and then like the press conference started, then obviously he made his comments, this and that, and started talking mad, like just talking trash, right?
Right.
So, and I'm like, what? Like, so then I had to like clap back a little bit during the press conference. So I was like, come on, man, like you need to relax, like John, you've had many title shots in the UFC. You fought for the title for twice in the UFC, and then there was a reason why, John, you didn't get the title 2 times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So So, obviously I had to like defend myself and be like, John, like I'm going to show you again for the third time fighting for a title, especially in BKFC, like you're not going to get it. And there's a reason why. So that, and like, after I said that, like it was silent, right? Nobody talked any trash. She didn't talk any trash. His wife was in the crowd talking trash. I'm like, come on. Like you were just like, I saw you this morning. You know what I mean? Like, why you acting like that? But yeah, that's the way John is like on camera, and the way John is on camera, he's like a humble type of guy. But the thing is, like, you felt cringy when you saw John talking trash on camera.
Right.
The thing is, like, he's not that type of human being. So if he was that type of human being and he was like a trash talker, like a Conor McGregor, like it would be cool. It would be like, okay, yeah, that's the way it is. But whenever somebody's not that type of person and they're forcing that type of like persona or aggression, it makes it cringy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've
never seen him prior to that.
John.
So so to me, he just came off as a jerk from the start. You know what I mean?
A douchebag. Like for guys that don't know who John Dotson was, like he's a douchebag whenever you see him. Yeah. So,
but I liked your response though, because your response, they asked you, what did you plan on doing? What was your plan against John in the in the ring, and all you said was, "You'll find out when we get in the ring."
Yeah, exactly. We specifically brought in certain sparring partners. We specifically came up with the game plan. We specifically you're just gonna have to see it. I'm not gonna sit there at the press conference and say, "Hey, this is exactly what we're doing, and this is exactly what we're working on." No, that would be stupid. So
exactly. Don't give away your game plan.
Exactly.
Right. So I told you, man. Right after the fight, dude, I sent you that text, and I'm like, dude, I never wanted to see somebody get punched in the mouth so bad. I was just waiting. I was like, dude, I just wanted you to get one good punch on the guy.
John, man, John is like his fighting style, like skill for skill. Like I told you earlier, skill for skill. Right. John cannot outbox me, right? He cannot outbox. But when it comes to like the way John is, right? The way John is, his fighting style is just such an annoying gnat at a barbecue. Like he's like an annoying gnat at a barbecue you can't shake.
Right.
And again, like we prepared for it. Like we did all the right things to prepare for John. But it's the fight game. Right. And things happen, but if John, our plan was to force John into later rounds, he was going to be forced to box with me, and there was no way he was going to be able to box with me. Yeah. Right. So after, for anybody that's viewing, like if you saw the fight, if you watched the fight, there's so many shoulda, coulda, woulda moments in that fight for me in my game plan. Like after the second time I got knocked down, I got back up, started fighting. After the eye poke, we went in and tried to bang with John. And then so that was probably not the right idea to try to sit and bang with John. And honestly, hats off to John. He's done a lot of things, but I've been punched harder by my last opponent. You know what I mean? By other guys. And John, hats off to John. Like again, congratulations. He won the title, whatever. But when it comes down to like power, skill, like I said, I was punched by Chancey Wilson harder than John had punched me in the face. And I beat John, and I beat Chancey Wilson by unanimous decision. So when it came down to it, like they asked me, they're like, "Hey, were you, how did John's power feel, compared to other fighters and this and that?" Right. Like it was nothing. Like John's power wasn't anything that I couldn't handle. Right. Right. But the pure ferocity of how John fights, even though we prepared for it, it was something that got me out of my own head, got me out of my own game plan. Like I was out of my home state. I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Like it was pro John crowd. It was a
Right.
sold out crowd. It was a sold out crowd, over 10,000 people, right?
I was going to say
And
that was his hometown, wasn't it?
hometown.
Yeah.
It's like I was, it's the fight game.
Right.
I get it. But it's like I was set up for failure. Like, even though it's the fight game and BKFC is the promotion that I fight for, I'm employed by them, whatever. But John's the bigger name. John's got a huge following. He's worldwide, whatever. But everything from me stepping on backstage to walk out on stage to walk out to the ring, man, like you should like the energy that I felt from like the boos and this and that. What's crazy is I got so many boos, but after the fight, like people were coming up to me and asking me for an autograph. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like they were all fight fans, but they were all pro John. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were still my fans, but they were all pro John because John is, John's from Albuquerque. He's a big name. It was a big draw.
Right.
He's a big draw. But Cross, I guarantee you, whenever we fight again, whenever they want me to fight November 3rd or 5th, I can't remember. But they want me to fight in November. Once I seal the deal, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool.
So basically it'll be like a title eliminator. So I'll need to fight another guy like the number. So I'm still ranked number 1. John's the champ. So I'm going to fight the number 3 guy to fight John again. You know what I mean? So it's a blessing in disguise when we think about it, because John Dotson's, we know how he fights. Like maybe it could have been a number of things, right? It could have been the crowd. It could have been I was out of my element. It could have been out of the Florida. Like it could be a number of things. So So when we fight again in neutral ground, whether it's in Texas or wherever they have us fight, like I would much rather, like if it happens again, if the rematch happens again, like I will demand on my side, like it's got to be a neutral ground, like either fight in Florida or we're gonna fight in middle ground. That's got to be
Texas,
part of my negotiation. Yeah. So when we do meet, like we will meet again. Like John said, we're going to run it back. Yeah, obviously we will run it back. There's nobody else in the division that can hang with John. But we'll do it again. Like we'll do it again. But I'll fight the number 3 guy probably November, maybe December. My management's locking it down. But they want me back as soon as possible. So
cool. That's good too, and I'm glad you're getting back into it too. So
yeah, of course, man.
And that was the thing too, like because I whenever I watched the fight, I saw how the crowd was being. You know what I mean? They pretty much made you the underdog from the beginning.
No, I was the underdog, and I knew that going in, man.
Yeah,
I knew that I was going in, even though BKFC fans, fight fans, they all like me. Like I've built a name in BKFC where like I have a fan base. But when it comes to John Dotson, he's worldwide. He's fought in the UFC. He's done many things. They're obviously going to be pro John, and I knew I was going to be underdog. But whenever I stepped on stage, backstage, man, like that energy is real, Cross. Mm-hmm. That energy is real. Like I'm not the type to get like I get nervous before fights, but as soon as I stepped on the backstage to walk up on stage to walk to the ring. I get like 10,000 people. You could feel the energy, and I was walking out like these dudes, like I was walking down stage, like the guys that were stage side, like you, I could like if you watch the video, if you watch the playback, and you watch me as I walked out, you see me shut my eyes, I stay focused, and I walk down the stage, but like that whole time, like. I could literally hear like specific words being said out of these guys' mouth. Like there was a reason why security was high, because if people were able, like just like the old days, if they were able to hold like heads of lettuce and tomatoes and all that stuff,
yeah,
I would have been covered, my man. I would have been covered, right?
Right.
Like it was that bad. Like it was that bad. That crowd was crazy.
Wow.
And so it's gotta be a neutral ground. It's gotta be a neutral ground
Right.
whenever we rematch. Whether it's in Texas, like somewhere in the middle from Florida. Like if he doesn't want to come to Florida, whatever. But
Right.
it's gotta
Try
be
to get it in Texas. Try to get it here in Texas.
Right in the middle, man. It's in the
Right.
middle, and plus I got a lot of fans in Texas. You know, I grew up in
Right.
Texas. Yeah, so if we fight in Texas, even better. That's great. And you know now, I don't know if you saw the news, but the Bare Knuckle Association was only sanctioned in probably 40 to about 40 states, right? Now it's sanctioned in all 50 states. So it's now legal in all 50 states. So some of the bigger states, we are now going to be like Bare Knuckle is now going to be putting shows in those bigger states now.
Wow. That's good.
So yeah,
and we were talking about this. We were talking about this before too.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, and another thing, like Bare Knuckle, since I'm the only like Filipino guy on the roster, and I just fought for the world title. Like they're trying to, since Bare Knuckle's now global, like they want me to fight. Like they're really pushing for the Philippines, so they want me to. They talked about me headlining the event in the Philippines, and they also want to pull from the Filipino athletes out there. There's a lot of great fighters out there, as we know, like Manny Pacquiao, all those guys. But Bare Knuckle's becoming such a big sport that we can, like, Bare Knuckle can get a lot of talented athletes out of that country. So and
I was gonna say the next one is in Thailand. The next one comes.
Next one's in Thailand. There's two Muay Thai legends about to fight on there. Sanchai and Bukau. Bukau is actually going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao in a boxing match.
Oh wow!
Next year, so it's kind of a big deal. So, like Bukau is a legend in Muay Thai. Manny Pacquiao is a legend in boxing. But it's gonna be a big deal. But whenever you have Sanchai in the mix too, fighting Bare Knuckle, Muay Thai rules, it's crazy, man. Like those are one of my two favorite fighters of all time, all combat sports. Yeah, and I've been watching them since I was a young guy. Coming up, fighting. Just beginning, in my amateur days, whenever I was like, yo, he's one of my favorite fighters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you going to get to go to that?
Of course, yeah. I would obviously, like I would have to buy my ticket out there, but like when it comes to like whatever else I need, like Bare Knuckle will take care of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun to go to.
Yeah, man, I would love to. I'm telling you, BK, like, to see those two guys fight, I would love it. And I would love to just be out there in Thailand just to see the level of talent,
Right.
Because they're going to pull, eventually they're going to pull from Thailand, they're going to pull from the Philippines. Like all the European countries, they don't have smaller weight classes like most of the Asian countries. So they're going to start pulling from some of these smaller countries. And I've built my name in the flyweight division to where I could go out there and I could help, get awareness around,
help promote it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I was thinking that during that whole fight, the way you were talking about with fighting with John, one, if you guys would, because he likes to push people in the corner and get,
he does. Dude, he's like a gnat at a barbecue that won't let you down, man. He will not stop bothering you unless you. I was
thinking during the whole fight, I was like, if you could just get him back in the center of that and make him square up against you.
No, exactly.
If he would square up against you, you would just got one hit. That dude would have broke like glass.
Exactly. That's oh my gosh. Like if there's from my point of view, from my perspective, and all the
Right.
people that are watching on your channel, like it's like there's things that I know after watching the playback and seeing my reaction on certain things. Like there's so many things that I could have done to make the long story short.
Right.
Like I should have got up after the first knockdown, after he poked me in the eye, used my range, boxed him a little bit, moved around the ring, and let the next round go on. Next round, go to the corner, let my coaches talk some sense in me, and then regroup, then come back and do it again.
Right.
So, but everything during that first round is just like, again, like everything, like I don't know, everything just went out the window, man. It's so crazy.
They tried to call that fight so quick after you got your eye got cut. They kept stopping and they kept trying to, it's like they were already trying to call the fight.
It's crazy. Like whenever they were trying, like the ref stopped the time, the doctors came and looked at my eye. Dude, my eye, I couldn't open my eye. So whenever the doctor ringside, he was like, hey, like I need you to open your eye. How many fingers am I holding up? Blah blah blah. They did all this stuff. Right. And I'm like, I can't open my eye. I'm like, yo, I can't open my eye. It's watering, it's crying. Like he poked he poked my eye. And I can't open it. And they're trying to pry it open. And then it got to the point they were like, do you want to go or not? And I'm like, let's go. So that's whenever we came back after the so technically the ref called it the push, and then it was done, right? So they gave me 5 minutes to regain myself or whatever, just like if you got hit in the nuts.
Right.
So they gave me 5 minutes, regroup, and then the doctors were like, since you like, do you want to go or not? I'm like, yeah, let's go. So that's whenever we went back out again, and then if we watched the fight, if you watched it, like I was just out of my mind. Like I was out of my mind. Like literally, if it was a third person, like it's just a fight game, man. It's just it's crazy. I can't explain it. It is what it is.
Cool. So let me ask you. So what was the biggest thing you learned from that fight?
The biggest thing that I learned from the fight, this is something that nobody knows about except you're close to me, if you're around me, whatever, on my social media. Like the thing is with the fight, like a normal fight can't last 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
I was getting ready for a fight in July 14th, and then we got the deal done with John. Right. For August. So I didn't stop training. So I literally, like, my fight camp almost lasted 10 almost, it was over 10 weeks long.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So it's like, I was a bit overtrained. Like in all athletes, whether you're a sprinter, whether you're a fighter, whether any swimmer, like if you're overtrained, like your body needs time to relax. And I think some of it, like to answer your question, what I learned is I do need just a 6 to 8 week fight camp. I need 6 to 8 weeks to lose the weight, 6 to 8 weeks to get primed and ready. Nothing longer than that. Because after 10 weeks, like your body is in prime shape, but you start to taper off. Whether it's like your muscles are tired and overtrained, or your mindset is exhausted. Right. Like you don't have that killer instinct like you did at 7 weeks. You know what I mean? So the main thing that I learned was maybe I should have had a 6 to 8 week camp. And personally, the things that I learned was stick to the game plan and not just react to the situation. Okay. Right. So for your fans, stick to the game plan and not react to the situation. So I reacted to the situation where I tried to sit and bang with John Dotson. Right. Which I should have stuck to my game plan, stuck to the things we trained for John Dotson through camp, weathered the storm, then went into the second round. had that minute break, regrouped, listened to my coaches, then came back out and did my thing.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that I learned in a world title fight. You know, like a lot of guys don't get a chance to ever in their career to fight for a world title. I did, and I will again, but that's the main thing that I learned.
And that's a good thing too, you know, is now you know what it's going to be like to get in the ring with John. You know the things that you needed to work on. You immediately went back into the gym, you know what I mean, and started working for it, which is what inspired me about you is that, you know, you didn't let it defeat you. You didn't.
I didn't. You know, the thing is, like we've all seen a lot of champions rise and a lot of champions fall.
Right.
And I got to the point in my career where I fought for a world title, fought a guy that's got a big name. And there was a point in time after the fight, like I was, you know, like especially literally in my dressing room, like after the fight, I'm back there with my coaches, like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, how did you let this slip through your fingertips? But I had to, I don't know what it was, but I snapped out of it very quickly because it will happen again. I'll fight John again. I will fight for the world title again. But I don't know. It's like I had to hold on to my faith to where I knew that I got to the point in my career and my fight in my job that not a lot of people will ever get to in their career. So you know, it's just I know that I'm still currently ranked number 1 contender. I still have the chance to fight John. It's you know, I looked at it as a blessing in disguise because it's almost like, okay, we know how John fights. We know if we have to fight in hostile territory again. This is how you're going to react. This is how you're going to keep your mind straight. We might have to tweak the fight camp, but regardless, we'll lock down the day and then that's it. Like if we're 10 weeks out, we're not going to start training for 2 weeks again. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I was beating myself up, and not gonna lie, Cross, like I was beating myself up, but I had to check myself at the same time. Like, hey, like you're still at the top of your game. You're still competitive. Like this was a blessing in disguise for you because you were able to reach so many other people. You're able to reach, you know, people like it's crazy. I gained probably like 5,000 Instagram fans, and they were all Filipinos, Filipinos. Crazy. Wow. And I got so many messages from them, like I've never had anything like that before in my whole BKFC career. So, so I couldn't beat myself up on the loss. It just makes me more hungry and more prepared for for the next one. So like, I don't take it as I take it as a loss, but I also take it as an experience and a learning experience to where I know down the road that I'm going to have that opportunity again, because I've created so many different opportunities. Like anybody else watching your channel, like we create actors, like you have a lot of actors on your channel. If we create the opportunities, we take them. If the doors are open, we walk through it. So I know for a fact that I'm going to continue to create my own destiny. And if the door opens again, which it will, because I'm still at the top of my game, I'm going to be prepared, and I'm already going to know what to expect whenever I do fight John again for the title. So yeah. And that's what it is, man. And then, you know, I can't beat myself up for it. There's not a day like what's today? It's September 3rd. There hasn't been a day where I've replayed that fight in my head. Like what, from my perspective, not watching the playback off of BKFC, but rewatching it in my head, like I'll be driving, whatever, like it happens on a daily basis, and we'll get it back. We'll get it back. And that's what we got to do. It's like if we get knocked down, we keep going.
Right. I look at it as that was your first attempt.
First attempt. Yeah,
I mean,
first attempt. But God does so many things in people's lives that sometimes it's like, hey, you gotta get a taste of it. Then the next time you've already had the experience, and now you're gonna take the throne. And I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that's what happened.
I'm that way too. I believe that title is your title. I just think it wasn't your time to get that title. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You just had to go through this lesson. Then you go through it again. You know what it reminds me of? As you know, I'm a big Mavs fan because they were being in Texas. And so when the Mavs played the Miami Heat, and they lost against Miami Heat, and then in 2011 they played Miami Heat again. But this time Miami Heat had Chris Bosh and LeBron James. And to get to Miami Heat, they had to go play against Portland. They had a killer team. They had to go play against Oklahoma with Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. They had to play against the Lakers, which they never beat the Lakers, and ended up sweeping the Lakers. Then got to the Heat and finally beat the Heat. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I see your fight as. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I see it the same way. And that's why I can't beat myself up about it. I still have the same amount of people that are still watching me.
Right.
I still have the same amount of, people supporting me. I even gain more people support. Exactly what you said, man. It's exactly how you said it. Like it's my title. Like you see it as my title, but it may not have been my time. I'll get it. Like I'll get it. Trust me. Cross. We're gonna have the same conversation on another podcast episode, whatever.
Right.
And I'm gonna be holding the belt, and we're gonna laugh about this conversation that you and I are having right now, because we had talked about it, and it's happened all my life. Like that's the way it is. It will happen. It will happen.
So let me ask you this too, because you have a big influence in the BKFC, and you're bringing in an international crowd with bringing in the Philippines, and so after your fighting career, have you thought about what you're going to do with the BKFC after fighting?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that my manager and I had talked about is like we I can't fight for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like it's just impossible for anybody once they reach a certain age. Like it's just age takes a toll on you. So to stay in the fight game, like I already knew in my heart, and all the people that look up to me in the gym that I train at, and this and that, and like their careers, like how I inspire them to keep doing what they do in the boxing community, or in whether they come into the bare knuckle community or not. I plan on managing fighters. I plan on managing fighters. I plan on taking them to the next level, as much as my influence can take them. And that's the thing. That's where it's time. Like I've talked about it on your podcast before, but it'll be the time where I can be able to give back in the influence that I have in the sport. You know what I mean? Right. So that's what we're looking at. That's what I would like to do. That's what I want to do. And that's definitely something in the future for sure.
Cool. Well, let me ask you, with the new fighters coming in, is there a particular fighter that's coming up the ranks that you're like, hey, this guy is going to be a title fighter?
Yeah, there's a guy in the 145 weight division. His name is Brandon Allen. He's actually fighting out of Swift MMA here in Tampa. Mm-hmm. He's a stud. I've got to know him a while. There's a lot of great fighters that are coming out of Swift MMA. Yeah, but he's definitely a stick out. His name is Brandon Allen. All the followers and all the people watching watching right now, Brandon Allen, he's a stud. He's definitely a guy to be on the lookout for. There's a lot of guys like in the 45-pound weight division. Howard Davis, good friend of mine, fighting out of Miami. There's a lot of talented guys out there that combat sport fans need to keep an eye on, because bare knuckle is the fastest growing sport right now.
Right.
Yeah, Howard Davis. Yeah, there's a lot. Like my good friend David Mundell, he is the middleweight champion. He just beat a big name, Mike Richmond, defending his belt for the first time. So yeah.
So all right, cool. Yeah, I noticed at BKFC, I'm starting to see a lot more from them. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yep.
So cool. So what we'll do is hold on, just checking our Facebook, just make sure we don't have any questions on there. But the next fight is in November. So once you guys settle on the confirm the date, yeah, definitely let us know.
Yeah, I'll let you know for sure. Like once we lock it in, like we know for a fact that there'll be a fight in Orlando. Okay. If we lock it in, if my manager locks us in, I will let you know. You'll be the first to know. So
cool. So man, if it's in Orlando, I wonder if I could get somebody out there, and maybe get an interview with you right after the fight, and do like me live. We'll have to see. Yeah, because we got all those people out there in Orlando. I try to get somebody out there.
Yeah. Like if you set it up, let me know, and then I'll be the first. I'll find them.
Cool. So that works, man. All right, brother. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but there's a lesson that was learned, and like I said, I really believe that title is already yours. You know what I mean? You just got to do what you got to do. Get back in there. You know the game plan. You know the things that you had to work on, and let's go get that title. Let's take that title back.
Absolutely. We'll bring it back to Florida, man.
So that was the last thing I was going to tell you. The way he took that title when they asked him about if he had anything to say after he got the title, and he was like, everybody needs to recognize I'm the king and they need to bow down to me.
I'm like, come on, man. John, right. John, stop it. Just be
like, he didn't even take it with grace. You know what I mean?
Show humility, bro.
Right, exactly.
And become the people's champ. That's what he needs. It's crazy.
So that's what I was saying, man. So the next time you face off with him, man, I can't wait. And remember, in the back of your head, just remember, I just want to see you just hit the dude one time.
I'm going to beat the piss out of him. Cross, I'm going to beat the piss out of that guy.
So, yeah, definitely, man. But again, man, brother, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate it so much.
Cool. And then, let's catch up in the next fight. Just let me know.
For sure.
And then send me the information. I know that you posted something about the fight in Thailand, and we'll post it on the website too, so that my Facebook, so that people can see it.
Yeah, cool. We'll do.
Awesome. All right, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks so much, man. Take it easy.
Cool. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being, joining us on the show. Like I said, I've been really looking forward to getting to talk to JR about this. So until next time, guys, remember, you are uniquely designed with the purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace. All right, brother.
Take care.